My wife texted, "Your HR manager and I are friends now. She told me about your performance review. You're on thin ice, lol." I replied, "Thanks for the information." Then I filed a complaint with corporate ethics and legal. My wife and I had been having problems. She'd been making comments about my job, little digs about how I should be further along, how her friends' husbands made more money. But this was different. She didn't just cross a line, she bragged about it. I screenshot the message, forwarded it to my personal email, and saved it in 3 different places. Then I contacted corporate ethics and legal, explaining that my spouse had obtained confidential information about my performance review from our HR manager, Patricia Brennan. Within 20 minutes, someone from legal responded. They'd contact me first thing tomorrow. That night at home, my wife acted like nothing happened. I didn't bring up the text. Let her think she got away with it. The next morning, I met with legal and corporate ethics. They took it seriously. If Patricia shared this voluntarily, that's a termination level offense, Howard from legal said. They opened a formal investigation. That afternoon, Patricia wasn't at her desk. By lunch, people were whispering about HR being in meetings all morning. 2 days later, Howard called me back in. A woman from legal sat there with printed text messages between my wife and Patricia, messages I'd never seen. My wife had been planning this for weeks. She'd contacted Patricia on social media, pretending to connect with people in my professional circle. When Patricia declined citing company policy, my wife's tone shifted. "I'd hate for there to be any misunderstandings," my wife had written, "like that situation with the expense reports last month." "What situation?" I asked. "There was no situation," Howard said. "Your wife made it up. That's extortion." The messages continued over 3 weeks. My wife kept pressing, mentioning seeing Patricia's car in certain places, showing she'd been watching her. Finally, Patricia cracked and sent a brief performance review summary, just general talking points about meeting expectations. My wife had weaponized normal feedback to tell me I was on thin ice. "Patricia said your wife was gathering evidence for a divorce," Howard explained. "She needed to prove you were failing professionally to strengthen her case for alimony." There it was. She was building a case to paint me as incompetent so she could take more in the settlement. Patricia was terminated. The company documented everything and recommended I speak with an attorney. I hired a divorce lawyer that same day. "This is textbook financial abuse," Russell said. "We can use this in proceedings." When I got home, my wife was watching television. The next morning, I told her Patricia had been fired. "Who's Patricia Brennan?" she asked. I showed her the screenshot. "The HR manager you threatened? That was just a joke. The company has all the messages. They know you coerced her, made false claims, stalked her in the parking garage." Her face changed. The mask dropped. "You reported me to your company? You tried to sabotage my career. What did you think would happen?" I filed for divorce the next week, attaching documentation of her interference. My attorney was clear. "She can't claim financial hardship when we can prove she actively tried to sabotage your income." My supervisor called me in. "We have an opening for senior operations coordinator. After how you've handled this with professionalism, I'd like you to apply." I got the job. 15% raise, better benefits. My wife found out through social media when a colleague posted congratulations. She called me furious. "You got promoted? You were supposed to be struggling. Turns out I'm doing just fine." Her attorney tried to negotiate. Half of everything, plus 5 years of alimony. My attorney held firm. 50-50 split, no alimony, and she'd be responsible for legal fees if she contested. Then word got out. Patricia, angry about losing her job, started talking. Small town, tight professional circles. My wife's reputation crumbled. Her employer put her on a performance improvement plan. Her friends distanced themselves. She showed up at the house crying. "Everything's falling apart. You tried to destroy my career for money," I said. "That has consequences." 3 days later, she signed the divorce papers. She tried to make everyone believe I was failing. Instead, she destroyed herself and set me free.